No script, here we go. All right, so if you own the red KOMODO-X or a red v-raptor and you're looking for an on-camera monitoring solution, then I really think the red DSMC3 touch monitor is worth a serious look. Well, first of all, it is a really great monitor. It's actually made by Small HD, and Small HD makes the best monitors out there in my opinion. And being a Small HD monitor, you get all the tools built in that Small HD monitors have. Next, you have full red control over the camera, which is awesome. Now on the KOMODO-X, you can use the screen on top of the camera, which is cool, but for v-raptor users, you don't really have any way to change the settings on the top of the camera. You have to go to the first assistant side of the camera to change settings, and if you are an owner op and you don't have a first AC on set changing settings for you, then that can kind of be a pain unless you're using the Red Control app on your iPhone, or Android, but then you have to use another device and have something else charging and all that stuff to be able to change your settings. With the DSMC3 monitor, you have full Red Control and it is super snappy, and it really makes for a convenient experience because you don't really have to take your eyes off the monitor to change your settings, and everything is really easy to navigate when changing camera settings. Next up, it frees up the SDI port, and this is huge for KOMODO-X users because there is only one SDI out on the camera. So this allows you to use that freed up SDI port for something like a video village, or maybe sending a wireless signal out to your first AC pulling focus. Now, since the camera not only provides a video signal but also power to the monitor, this is also really convenient because you can hot swap batteries and the camera or the monitor doesn't power off when you hot swap batteries. I do this on set a lot when I don't want to have to deal with powering down the camera just to swap a battery out. I'll just plug in either a D-tap to AC power cable into the power in on the camera, or just use the AC power brick that comes with the camera. You plug that in, take your old battery off, put a fresh battery on, and then unplug the AC power, and you can keep on going and not have to be interrupted with a power cycle. The monitor also, I think, enhances the user experience and the usability of the camera for a couple reasons. Number one, you get another record button. At the bottom right hand corner of the screen, you can actually toggle record on and off, which is really nice. And on the left side, you have 4 user assignable buttons that you can either use to toggle settings on the actual monitor itself or camera functions. And it's just really nice to have that functionality and customization. And if you're a KOMODO-X user, you technically have 8 customizable function buttons between the camera record buttons and the buttons on the side of the monitor. This monitor also just kind of cleans up your camera rig a little bit and just kind of eliminates the need for a lot of cables. And what I mean by that is, especially if you want red control on your monitor, like the 702 Touch or something like that, you're gonna need a red camera control cable, you're gonna need an SDI cable for video signal, and then you're gonna need some way to power it. And typically what I like to do is power it off of D-tap, so I don't have to have different types of batteries with me. And with all that, you've got 3 cables, and to me, it's just more cluttered than it needs to be. So I really like the fact that this monitor just really cleans up the rig and eliminates all these kind of cables kind of routed and wrapped around the camera. Now, speaking of that one cable, it's the RMI cable, and it's a proprietary cable. It's really expensive, and it's kind of a double-edged sword. Like, the one great thing about it is the fact that you can relocate the monitor to a different part of the camera, or maybe on a top handle or something like that, which is great. And that's awesome, and that kind of gives you the flexibility. Or if you're using it on a gimbal, you can get the longer RMI cable to mount it onto a gimbal and have your camera control and all that stuff. But the downside is the RMI cable is kind of the Achilles heel of this monitor, and is probably the biggest complaint about this monitor that everybody has, just because the cable is kind of finicky. Like, it's been great on my monitor, but I was on a project where we rented a v-raptor XL with the DSMC3 monitor, and that cable, I think we had a second one in the kit, which was great, because if not, we would have lost our video signal. And being out in like middle of the backcountry or wherever we were, I think it was like in the middle of a farm or something like that, it would have taken a long time to re-rig the camera and all that. So that RMI cable, definitely a bummer. So hopefully in the future, they maybe make a cableless version. Word on the street is maybe a 5-inch version of this monitor is coming out sometime, and it is cableless. So we'll see there, but I actually do like the fact that you can relocate the monitor super easily and it's just one cable. I just wish that it was a little bit more robust. Now the other bummer with this monitor is it can only be used currently on the Red Komodo-X and the Red v-raptor and the Red v-raptor variants. It can't be used on the Red Komodo 6K, which is a bummer, and you can't transfer this to a Sony Venice or an Arri Alexa or a Canon camera or anything like that. So if you get this monitor, it's kind of stuck to just the Red DSMC3 ecosystem. Now, of all the quirks and everything about this monitor that seem kind of annoying, I actually do think that this is a fantastic monitor. And when I purchased it, I started to use it thinking I'm gonna see how it goes, and if I don't like it, then I'm going to return it. But I have decided to keep it because of how amazing this monitor is and how much kind of freedom and friction this removes from my workflow while using the camera. So all that to be said, I think it's a great monitor. If you decide to purchase it, maybe use the link down in the description below. And doesn't cost you any extra, but I get a little bit of a kickback on that, which is always helpful. So yeah, I appreciate you watching. If you have any questions about the monitor, just leave it down in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer. If I don't have the answer, then I would probably just direct you to Red support because they are very knowledgeable and very helpful and very kind and patient. So I speak from experience on this one. So anyways, thank you so much for watching and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.